Call this meeting to order. The commission shall serve in an advisory role to assist residents, businesses, and the government of Monroe County in addressing issues of gender equity in all aspects of society/community. The mission is to advance the status of women and marginalized genders in all areas of county life. Can I get a motion to pass the agenda for today, which is the same as always?
I think I'm okay with passing it, but we did have an action item from the last meeting that we wanted to start including the purpose of the subcommittees as part of the agenda, so that it's like there in the agenda. We don't have
written in the agenda.
I'm putting it in the minutes, so it ends up in the minutes, but yeah, we're just wanting to get those in the agenda. I also would recommend the members listed and the meeting schedules, like it's all there in the minutes that you can just copy and paste that for the next agenda. Yeah.
Got it.
But otherwise, I move to approve the agenda. It's fine. Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Agenda passed. Julie sent out the minutes a couple weeks ago. Has everyone had a chance to look at them? And if so, do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second? Did you both say something?
I actually had a question on my own minutes. I realized that I did not have any place where I mentioned any guests that are with us, or did I have, like, is that public comment? Is that where it came in? Oh, maybe I did. Okay, I did do that with public comment. Never mind. I take back my question on my own minutes.
Don't second guess yourself, Julie.
I totally did it, so it's fine. Never mind. So who moved and who seconded?
I motion to approve.
Okay.
Did somebody second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Awesome. Commissioner update. I did want to add that one of my action items was to talk about September, because you remember they told us that we couldn't have a September meeting. So I followed up with Dina, and she gave us a space. We'll be in showers in room 100A for September. I also wanted to mention, because I haven't mentioned it lately, is the Indiana Commission for Women has just kind of fallen apart a little bit. So I don't know what's going. I mean, she's still there, Jordan, but I really just haven't heard much from them we don't have our monthly meetings, et cetera, et cetera. So I just wanted to mention that I don't know what's happening up there. So, and that is something that the Bloomington Commission should reach out about, because I've told them about you guys forever. So there's an Indiana Commission for Women. It's run by the state, and you guys should be involved.
Susan, since you have the contact information, have you reached out?
Yes.
To see what?
I mean, she keeps so we have monthly meetings, and she keeps canceling them. So I don't know what's happening, and I just haven't even talked to her. So
why don't we reach out to the other commissions
the two other commissions in the state?
Just see what the deal is. If not, I feel like we should just start our own then, because we need to be
networked.
Yeah.
I agree.
Shelley Yoder on that?
She's on the Indiana Commission.
She
on
is.
the board.
Someone that we could ask about.
Yeah, I just need to connect with Jordan somehow. See what's going on.
Mm-hmm. But if you can't get to her, then let's ask Shelley or the other commissions.
Yeah, will do.
Okay.
That's all I have, I think. Yeah, things will come to me later, I know it.
All right. Buckle your seatbelts. Today is global. Oh.
We all know about the Dropbox being discontinued, and then we're moving to Teams, right? Just want to make sure that that's clear. Okay.
Do we have that yet? Do we have access to Teams?
He emailed us all a link for it.
Oh, really?
It's all in
Yeah,
there,
my understanding, what I had to do today was go and try to connect with the email address or whatever username that you had that you used for Dropbox and try that on Teams and then say you forgot your password and you have to reset it. That's the only way I was able to get in. I didn't have any other connection
It
way
sends you a
to do
code
it.
to that
Yeah.
email.
Okay.
Yeah. But as long as it's the email address, I think that you use for the Women's Commission, then they use that for your listing in Teams. So it'll find you. It'll
Okay, thank you.
recognize that.
Will you put that in the minutes? So,
Yes.
okay.
And I have moved. I mean, I had talked to Greg and told him that I was in and moved all of our stuff from Dropbox to the folder in Teams. So
That's funny because I just accessed Dropbox today.
Yeah, it's still there.
Okay.
yeah.
But
So
nothing-
are the documents we're working on in, the
No,
things
ours is
we-
our own Google
Yeah,
Ours
we're
is our
working
own
separately
Google.
right now.
shared doc.
I've been putting stuff in the Teams, like that spreadsheet I was talking about.
Good, because that's where it needs to go.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
So we need to,
thought
whatever we're
we're-
working
okay.
on, when we're finished with it, we need to get it over into Teams. But yeah,
okay.
yeah, we haven't been putting any of that into Dropbox yet, so
Okay.
it's fine.
Um,
Go to Teams.
I didn't
Okay,
realize
I'll
that.
figure it
okay, now I'm done. I'm sorry.
Okay.
No, you're fine. Okay, so again, buckle your seatbelts. Okay, so today is Global Accessibility Awareness Day. This is a day dedicated to bridging the gap in digital and informational access for those with disabilities. This month is also Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month and Mental Health Awareness Month. Oh, and National Pet Month, but I feel like that's every month, so. Just an update, the new candidate or Democratic candidates for the Board of Commissioners, Jody Madeira beat Penny Gibbons, Julie Thomas unfortunately beat Peter Iverson. And for council, the candidates are David Henry, Cheryl Munson, and Trent Deckard. Okay, so this is not an update for me personally / for the community because there are concerns. So May 6th, I was terminated from Middleway House with no warning and no cause. So I am fine, and I am concerned about the services. I am concerned that there are not adequate services for survivors of domestic violence, sexual violence, and human trafficking, because as of the day that I was terminated, we had not accepted people into shelter for 4 weeks. So now we're on week 5. And it's no longer we because I'm not there. And Middleway House's mission is ingrained in my life's work, right? As far as gender and racial equity is my life's work. And so just because I'm not at Middleway House anymore doesn't mean that I'm not advocating for survivors. So I feel like there's a big gap in services. I talked to Carissa Muncie of Sojourn House, and they're out of Bedford. I just wanted to make sure that their services were still running because as of right now, I personally, not just because of my termination, but because I know that people are being turned away from shelter, I cannot refer people to Middleway House because they'll be turned away. I mean, they're not going to be like, no, you can't come in at the door. They'll come in, talk about other resources. But that emergency shelter is not available anymore and hasn't been for 5 weeks. It was 2 weeks before I knew it was even closed. And I worked in the agency at that point. So I'm saying it publicly here as far as my concern for the survivors in this community. I said it to another community leader earlier today. that it's something that we really need to keep an eye on, because if there's not walk-in 24/7 services for survivors, and Middle Way House is the only rape crisis center in southern Indiana, there's a huge gap in services. This ends my report.
And mic drop.
Somewhat speechless, but I do want to say I have been terminated from a position. And I know you're okay and you're strong, but it is difficult. It is a hard thing. So I've been there, and so I just want to know you are loved and supported here, and if there's anything we can do, just let us know. But I'm just kind of speechless about the situation. I don't know what to say there, but I didn't want to be silent for too long, because
That's so sweet. Thank you.
yeah. So.
I don't even understand.
There's no news from Middle Way as an organization about any of this at all right now?
Not that I'm aware of.
There's also Becky's place in Bedford.
Mhm.
I don't know how many beds, but just for the record
Not,
of
not as many, but
not many,
Yeah.
because I think they usually refer here to Bloomington. So
And there's a Desert Rose, but
Okay.
I'm not
Oh,
sure.
yeah. Okay.
I'm not sure if they have shelter or
Is that here? In this?
It's all in Bedford, so it'd be a
Bedford.
transportation
Yeah.
access situation. And I'm not sure that they're certified through the state or whatnot, or through the health community as a rape crisis center, because Middle Way House is and recognized by the state as a rape crisis center.
Yeah, and Beacon doesn't have any services like that.
Right. And so the hospital, the law enforcement would call Middle Way House as the rape crisis center. So,
can you speak to why has it been that that's the only center for so long? I mean, there's.
I can't speak to that. No, I
Yeah.
don't know that.
Okay.
No.
Toby's rolling over in her.
For sure she is.
And what can we, as a group advocating in the county government system, do? Is there any advocating that we can do regarding finding out what's going on? I don't even know.
I would say, I mean, as a group, we could ask the board what's going on. Would say, I don't know,
I don't know. Yeah.
their board.
can we, I mean, just a quick search, can we look to, there's very few other resources, as you had said, but at least, I know staff that middle way as a, I mean, that's what I have directed women to, who I know had nowhere else to go. So is that, as a women's commission, is that something that we could put together resources so at least there's a direction, or at least that it's publicly known? I mean, I think about a woman who's sitting at home for 2 months thinking, okay, I'm going to call Middle Way, I'm going to call Middle Way, I'm going to call
Yeah.
Middle Way, and then Middle Way's not there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, is that
Can we
like
see
an
Dave Askins
action,
on this?
an action item we could, or what could it?
I'm not sure if it's something he would pick up, because it's not necessarily government.
Right.
But advocating for women in the county, this seems like it
I mean, we can
makes
always
a difference.
ask.
Yeah.
We can always
There's
Jeremy
actually
Hogan.
in Bedford, there's a domestic violence working group that involves the prosecutor's office, advocates from, I think they're from Hoosier Hills, mental health specialists. They meet every month. And I mean, if we feel like this is information that's not being made public, I mean, maybe that group. I mean, first of all, it's amazing that they do that in Bedford. I think for them it was because, there's lots of reasons for that, but I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there that I know they are meeting, and it is a coalition that involves advocates and even people that are in charge. You know, it's very like tied to community solutions of how are we living in a community when, you know, so I'm just putting that out there. I don't know if that would be a group to reach out for. I know the prosecutor is just like he's a force and he is passionate. So
Well, that's good to know. That would be good.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, it cannot be. I even though I'm saying it publicly here, I do not want it to be me that does any of the outreach to any other groups.
Yeah.
I will say that we too have the Monroe County Domestic Violence Coalition through the city,
Okay.
and I'm remaining a member of that because it
Okay.
can be, you know, it's like a commission, but it's not. It's a coalition. But anybody can be any community member can be a member, and like I said during my termination meeting, you know, I'm going to continue this work. It's either here or elsewhere, you know. So I'm going to continue attending and doing the work with that coalition, and I'm going to bring it up to them as far as the gap in services. Because for me, bottom line, I'm fine. I promise. I am fine, and I appreciate your concern. But for me, the bottom line is the gap in resources here in this community.
Yeah, I mean, that's
And
it's
it's
alarming.
huge.
Yeah.
That's alarming if there's no shelter space anymore.
That's right.
I think people would be shocked to know, like
Right.
Yeah, because there's got to be something going on. I don't know much about that organization, but they seemed like they should have been the luckiest people in the world to have you. Seriously. I mean, obviously I would guarantee it's not personal. There's probably some stuff that we don't know going on.
Well, I appreciate your kind words, but let's also stay focused on the gap in resources and the needs of the community.
Absolutely.
I definitely feel like as the Women's Commission, I mean, this is something I mean, I don't, at least raising awareness about and or writing letters to find more information and or.
Like, is it
if
a
not for
space
this,
thing?
then for what, you know?
Is the space filled up, or is it just shut down and is not a thing that they're
Staff
doing anymore?
resources.
Staffing.
Yeah.
There's been major turnover for probably a couple of years now. There have been 2 major turnovers since in my time there, and since the last one, they have not been able to recover, and it is staffing, you know, they can't staff 24/7, and so that's why.
Well, I mean, I think as a first step for us, I mean, if we wanted to do something, would be to ask the board saying, this is what we've heard. Could you please verify XYZ with us and see what kind of response we get?
Yeah, that's worth it.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, if we want to
I think that's step one.
Step one, right
Yeah.
there, board. Say,
Yeah.
this is what we've heard. Could you please verify? Or comment or whatever. Do you want me to draft a letter and share it? Okay. Chat GPT, here I come.
You already know.
mean, it doesn't even have to be a long letter.
No,
It's
no, no, just
it
an
has
inquiry.
been brought to our attention as the Women's Commission. We feel it just really the situation needs attention. We need to start problem solving as a community. I mean, it's not all on them if they're struggling. We all need to like pull together and figure it out.
So it can be, how can we support?
Yeah,
how can
absolutely.
we help?
Yeah.
You know,
He's the president.
Yeah, not like accusatory, but
you know?
just like we need to figure this out.
Kathy Seidelli.
I don't know
Is her
her
name.
Oh, really? Okay.
Okay. Are we ready to move on or no? I'll take that as a yes. Oh, it even did say that. Sorry, Julie. We're going to start with old and ongoing business of the profile subcommittee. We have Commissioners Douglas, Otto, and Belton. The purpose, elevating profile of Monroe County Women's Commission, who we are and what we support. They meet the second Thursday of every month at 5:30.
So we did meet on the 9th of May. We created a public comment template. So if we ever want to make public comment, which we need to on the regular, it won't be as long or maybe challenging of a process than it has been in the past, starting from scratch. So we literally want to state who we are, what the situation is, why we're concerned about it, and then our action request. So that we all discussed it and agreed on that brief template that we can use.
Is that up on Teams?
Probably not.
Am
since
I-
you didn't know about it.
I mean, it
Are you
will
being
be
sarcastic?
okay.
No, but that's a great thing to put up
I
on
just
Teams.
brought my computer today, so I
You're doing
can't.
fantastic.
I can't overdo it.
All right.
We-
So that's
we-
one
which
step
we
at a
cannot
time.
verify that it's even turned on. Maybe Kathleen would like to verify that it's turned on.
It is.
I'm seeing a Google Doc.
Thank you.
Well, I'll put that as an action item that template
Please
doc
do.
can go up on Teams.
Thank you.
Yep.
So that, and then also I attended the Bloomington Commission on the Status of Women, and they were very welcoming. It was a very vibrant meeting, and they are very open and welcoming to collaboration from us. On the table, they offered that we could co-sponsor the women's market, which this is only the second year, so it's not like because I made it clear, I hope I made it clear that I don't want us to like take over something that they've branded for a long time, but they said this is just the second year for the women's market. It's July 27th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. in the atrium of City Hall. And it'd just be basically sweat equity and, just volunteering and being their day of. And they are also open to collaborating on a brand new event that we could co-brand. Shayla, do you want to say anything about that, or did I cover it?
Yeah, that was pretty much it. And in that meeting, they deemed me a liaison, so I will be at every meeting you guys have, so that we can continue to foster collaboration. But they did like the coding event idea that you guys had and would like to support in any way, and gave some ideas about reaching out to other schools instead of IU, like Ivy Tech, in order to get that. But yeah.
Thank you for that. Those were two important things.
Well, I'm glad they're changing the date because last year they held it on the same day as Pride, I think, which was a lot, I think, for to be happening that day. So
Yeah. No, I think
sounds like they're doing it earlier this year.
27th is what I wrote down. Also, just for everyone to know, JFAC is, and I know this kind of coincides with the policy, but I also attended county council And they announced that JFAC updates were going to be given at the next council meeting, which is Tuesday, May 28th. As far as profile goes, I also want to let you know about an event, the Hoosier Asian American Power HAP, the nonprofit that myself and 9 other Asian American women founded and launched earlier this year. We're having an event for AAPI month at the Tube Factory at 1125 Cruft Street in Indianapolis on Wednesday, May 29th from 5 to 7. So it's going to be a panel discussion about voting rights, civic engagement, racial equity, gender and reproductive justice. Ellen Wu, Associate Professor of History and the Asian American Studies at IU, and member of the Indiana Advisory Committee for the U.S. Commission on Civil Rights, is a panelist. Ami Gandhi, Director of Strategic Initiatives and Midwest Voting Rights Programs, Chicago Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights, is another panelist. And then little old me, Commissioner on the Monroe County Women's Commission, is also a panelist. So they're going to have food. It's going to be, hopefully a lively discussion. So yeah. And then I have my last thing for our profile committee is a proposal to the outreach committee of having a Monroe County Women's Commission and IU Public Health first annual health fair. And that is brought to us by our dear Jennifer Belton. Basically, all the outreach committee would need to do is to solidify a venue, and set some goals as far as how many people we want to hopefully get to attend. So then Jennifer can put together her volunteers. Again, this would be all free to us, but it would be a co-branded event with IU Public Health. And Jennifer, did you want to speak more about that, or
we would just need a date sooner than later to come up with a date. Again, we are a self-contained venue. We come in, we bring our stuff, we take our stuff away. So I need a date and a venue.
I know this is further, it's in July. It'd be maybe something to do with the women's market, or no?
Something totally separate.
Well,
because they did, I don't know, I was just thinking black market, because you guys did stuff at black market too.
Yeah, I would like this to be something totally separate.
Okay, perfect.
For us.
For us.
For Monroe County Women's Commission.
Perfect.
For an annual thing. So like this would be our first one. We could go from this, what we need, what we can do better next year, and continue to build.
Nice, okay.
Again, I need a date sooner than later. I would like us to have a date somewhere in the fall so that we could get marketing out there, get the word out there so people can come. More than 90 days. For us, we don't really need 90 days. We could do it sooner, but for us, I would like our date out further so we could get the word out there to have good participation in attendance.
Can I ask what services, what health services would be offered?
So it would be a A1C, diabetes A1C. It would check your A1C the last 3 months, your cholesterol, and your blood pressure. And all those are just standard what we do already, free of charge. We do that currently in the community.
So what if it was something where we partnered like with the Y, or do you want it, you said, would it be at the community center, or
No.
you want it out in the community?
Out in the community.
Okay.
For us, I just need a venue. I need a space for us to hold it. And I need a date. And then once I get a date and a space and how much time we get out there, September, October, whenever, then I can put together staffing. Because if we have 50, 60 people, I need more staff. Unless we have 10 or 20 people, that's less staff.
Would you want to bring in other organizations like Resource Fair type of thing, or stick to just those?
I would, I'm 50-50. Like,
Okay.
it could be whatever you want it to be, but I just would like it health related. If people would like to bring whatever or have services, or that's up to you, what people put in it. But for me, my primary goal would be to just have a health fair, and then next year another health fair, and if people want to join, or
So I'm just curious, did you brainstorm like location ideas at all? I mean, are you thinking library or?
I did not, because I didn't brainstorm.
Well, because the outreach committee, if they accept our proposal, then we can talk about,
right.
Target market. Because
true.
target market would then affect where we have it. Because if we want to include students, then it would need to be walkable from campus. I mean, I can think the library, I can think Allison Jukebox Center, maybe the Boys and Girls Club even would let us, so it just depends on who the target market is, I think.
The idea of up on the, but
Banneker Center.
Oh, yeah, Banneker. Yeah.
I think we know somebody that would.
We might.
Yeah, I even have a key.
We'll just sneak in.
So if the outreach outreach
Committee?
subcommittee, yes, thank you, could discuss the capacity for doing that, and if we don't have the capacity for 24, that's fine. We can maybe look at 25 or and I am, even though I'm not on the outreach committee, I am willing to assist.
Who's on the outreach committee?
We have
Tiana.
Eroge and
Yeah.
Belton and
I know it's not
Hardesty.
me. Sorry, Tiana.
Jennifer and
Hardesty,
Julie.
Jennifer. Oh, so you're
Oh,
one of the
Jennifer's
voters.
on-
Oh,
okay,
okay. So, can they vote right now? Because
We have to have
2 out
quorum.
of 3. Yeah, 2 out of 3 are here.
Well, should we take it to, they're the next, no, they're not. They're not the
I
next
don't want to put them
subcommittee.
on the spot, because if
Okay.
we don't have
So
the
when you
capacity
guys
to do
meet,
it
and then,
and do it well and do it with passion, then let's not, right? But
I think, yeah, we could all, yeah,
I would chip in.
I would chip it. Yeah, I think we would all get behind that as a general commission, but we will
pressure.
definitely leave it up to outreach. Is that all we have from profile? Okay, so we have policies of committee. We have Kathleen Sobiak, Julie Hardesty, and Maria Douglas. The purpose is to evaluate county policy using gender equity lens. Current focus is jail, meets fourth Thursday of month at 5:30.
Julie, do you want to talk about our activities, or would you prefer somebody else to?
I can talk. I'll have to have a moment to write down notes after I talk. But the main thing I think that we've been working on is getting questions together to ask of the 5 pilot county sheriff's offices about the IRACS program. We're asking about recidivism rate changes, especially those that impact women or marginalized genders. We're asking about any budget changes since the program's been in place. We're asking if the program is continuing in the next budget year, if they're going to continue with that as a program. And we're also asking their recovery organization, if they've got an identified recovery organization.
Because to be an IRACS county, you have to have a recovery organization partnership.
And IRACS is a peer support program in jails. Just in case, I forget what IRACS stands for, but basically a peer mentoring program that takes place in jails for substance use disorder.
Yeah, it's about reentry. That's part of the acronym. So it's trying to assist people coming out of jail, reentering the community, connecting up to services like the recovery, whatever the certified recovery organization would be, that sort of thing. So yeah, the questions we're asking are trying to get at if they're seeing any benefit to having that program in place, because we're not sure that we've had any actual conversations with those counties yet. Like, I don't know if the commissioners have. I don't know that the county council has. And particularly if women are being helped or marginalized genders are being helped, that would be really good to know.
So just as a recap, this was something that Penny Gibbons brought, and there was a whole public hearing about it. There were mixed feelings about it because, yes, I think it's agreed that we want an increase or an organization of services for reentry purposes and to reduce recidivism. And there were some community members here or at the hearing that said, we're already doing this. Why can't you support us and give us this financial support that you're going to be spending on IRACs? Now, IRACs chooses the communities. So we don't know, and I've reached out to Jennifer Crossley and Peter Iverson to see when we're supposed to hear back about IRACs, if they're choosing us or not. And I don't think anybody really knows to no fault of their own. I think it's just kind of floating around out there. And if you recall, New Leaf, New Life is the closest thing that we have to a recovery organization, and they would really have to change some of their get so many people in recovery on their board, change some of their programming and things like, and change their mission a little bit, because the IRAC's curriculum is based on, it's been a minute since I looked at it, but it's based on like there's something wrong, the criminal behavior, there's something wrong with the person. So if we can address the criminality in a person, we can like affect, reduce crime or whatnot. And that's for me, and I think for us, for social workers and whatnot, it's not something inherently wrong with the person. People are trying to survive. It's society. It's access. It's lack of research. All those things. And so that would be the IRAC's curriculum would be out of alignment with what New Leaf, New Life was founded on.
Just to be clear about the funding, I think, is it correct that that's coming from the state, is putting money into IRAC's programs? So it's not, when we say, oh, couldn't the money just go to New Leaf, New Life? The money is coming from state or federal levels. I was just in Tippecanoe and they said there's money for IRAC, for implementation of IRAC programs specifically. Like it's not, the money isn't coming from Bloomington saying we're going to pay either New Life or IRACs. It's like coming from an IRAC.
Pull down this money.
Right. Yeah. So just to be clear about that conversation, it's not like Bloomington is choosing New Life over this. It's, do we want to accept IRAC money to implement this program?
That's right.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you for that clarification. So that's what the policy subcommittee's doing.
Sounds fantastic.
And can I make a suggestion that in the next meeting, can we not do profile and policy right after each other, because I get really sick of myself?
Sure.
Thank you.
We do too.
I know. I know.
Don't.
I would. I'm
I
sick of
don't.
myself.
You could put it on for a follow-up step for me on that. I would like to like bring the curriculum or bring more of a summary of the curriculum to the group.
To the subcommittee?
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Did I send that to you, right?
I'm not sure.
I thought I shared it with
So-
everybody.
Okay.
Like at our next meeting, you
Yeah.
kind of want to share that?
Great, yeah.
Are you ready for the outreach? We have Commissioners Roger, Belton, and Hardesty. The purpose is to create and maintain programs that support our mission. Current focus is Web Design Camp. They meet on Mondays but do not have a regularly next meeting scheduled.
I don't think that Tiana is online.
Know who the four are.
So the last thing that I think we heard is that Tiana was going to be meeting with IU folks. I think it was somebody within the Luddy School potentially, and because there was the update, having the name change approved was enough that I think things were sent back. I think I'm not exactly positive. We never actually had a meeting that we were supposed to be having. So, but I think things were sent from the county back over to IU to be considered, and Tiana was going to be meeting with the Luddy School folks to talk through it. But I have not heard. Have you? Yeah, we don't know if that's happened. So I'm not sure what the status is for things at this point. So it might be that we don't get follow up on that until Tiana's returned.
So it's sent back to IU with the name change. That's not discriminatory.
I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
The not discriminating.
Right.
The
But I don't think
inclusive.
I don't know that we've heard any follow up from anyone, and I'm not sure that whatever the discussions were that Tiana was going to be having with folks have ended up happening. So yeah, is that sound about right? No.
I'm
Anything
assuming.
else from the outreach?
Can I ask a question? No.
Data subcommittee.
Are you going to let her ask a question?
Oh, were you going to ask a question?
Yeah.
I was confused. Sorry. I'm definitely. Oh, okay.
This is how we're doing.
All right. In my
No,
head,
you're fine.
whatever. Sorry.
I also work at Luddy, so do you happen to know who she was meeting with? No? Okay.
Not sure. I don't
That's
know. I
fine.
don't remember the name. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Don't you work?
I don't know.
I don't know. I think what we're seeing is that whatever the name change does for the contract that's written up, that's what would have been sent back over to potentially, I think, General Counsel. And if that went over to Luddy, whoever would receive that from IU General Counsel to check out in Luddy, I guess, is maybe who she was talking to, but I don't know who that would be. Yeah. I think that's how it's gone.
Thank you, though, for that
All
offer.
right.
If we, yeah.
You just give me the nod like someone's talking to you over here.
It's like, whoa.
Data subcommittee. Just kidding. It's me, it's Kathleen and I. Our purpose is to become more grounded into who we serve through data. Current focus is creating a survey, which technically we decided isn't true necessarily because that's too many steps ahead, that we are doing a landscape project, survey, whatever. So basically going out there and just building a foundation data set of, combing through who has data about our county, starting probably with like the census and the health departments and that kind of basic, information so we can have a better idea. Because I don't think, we don't know. And I think that will help us all understand who we serve and maybe create more questions for us. Do you have anything you'd like to add?
What was the sources you were looking at? Census and what else?
Like the health department.
Oh, health department.
Is there another one?
So the idea is to kind of first get a handle on what data is being collected that's by, divided by gender. Kind of like what we're doing in the policy group. We have a spreadsheet kind of data resources. And so we would have that as kind of a first step to what do we know about the county? So then we can look at gaps, who is not collecting data, subdivide, analyze by gender, and kind of go from there. And if there have been other surveys in the past that Women's Commission has done, I would like to include, because didn't they do one? Yeah.
I don't know when that was, but they have done one.
Yeah. So we kind of want to get, I would say, like landscape analysis of just what do we know.
Because we did have, right? So, and I thought I stumbled upon it the other day, the project that the students from O'Neill did for the city. Do we not all have that? I thought I found it.
Yeah, we should have that. It was for the city or the Chamber of Commerce.
Did you send that to? I don't know. I feel like I stumbled on it.
Well, I'm not connect. Well, I'm trying to connect.
But
I guess
that would be a good one too, because that's definitely more recent, and I don't even know what that said compared to the Women's Commission one, which I believe was.
When we're saying that we have it, is that like we have it in a Teams document sort of way, or like some other way?
Yes, I thought I'd seen it.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I saw it when I was moving all the files from Dropbox.
I think it was in Dropbox.
Okay. All right.
So what I'm envisioning it starting as is kind of a catalog of where to go for data. You'd be able to see where to access certain data, description of the database, but I like to create lots of tabs within that. So there might be a tab that's just like, okay, what are the demographics from the Census Bureau, just so we have it at our fingertips. Or if there's something, we can start suggesting different tabs that might give us more information summarized from those sites. But I think even starting with what's out there is kind of our first task. And so if you have suggestions about that, let us know.
So at the, I attended one of those, I think it's through IU Health, one of those community conversations that they're doing. Do you know what I'm talking about? And so I attended the one at Banneker Center, and trying to get points with Shayla. But anyway, they had stats on like infant mortality.
Yeah, there's state level things that probably break down by county.
And
right, IDOA, Indiana Department of Health, and we'll look at that.
Yeah, and like who's passing away, and so clearly we want to, because I was curious on
social determinants of health, who is unhoused. I found a southern Indiana, South Central Indiana homelessness coalition, and they actually have by county kind of census information heading home of South Central Indiana. So this is the database that is in Teams once you get into it for the policy group. And so it's a description of like what entity is putting it together. And then I kind of tag it with like homelessness, incarceration, mental health, drug courts. So it'll have a tag. It'll have what geographic breakdown, the entity that puts it together, the web address, and a description of the resource. So that's like the catalog of information. So if we're doing something about incarceration, you could sort by all the databases.
I love that.
Okay. Yeah. So then having one that's just more general for just, okay, public, social determinants of health, demographics, and we'll do the same thing. Yeah.
Literally just before this meeting started, I was just looking at Indiana Public Media, and there's a report out about older adults and cost of care and how older women
The
face-
elderly, we
Yes.
really need to get that.
So that is coming
Yes.
from the state of aging in central Indiana.
Okay, so
there's
just like if
yeah,
you find
those sorts of
anything like
sources.
that, like
Right.
just send it to me and
Yeah.
I'll go in the catalog.
Yeah.
Like anytime you find something cool, like data dashboards and just anything like that, send it to me and I'll go in the catalog.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is good work. Thank you so much.
Mhm. Well, thank you for saying that. Yeah.
Oh, it's a day. Well, that's all we have. Let's go to public comment. No one's online. Do you have anything you'd like to comment about?
No, is there anything as a liaison you guys would like me to bring to my next meeting?
No. Let them know we were happy to help with the women's market in any way, shape, or form.
So do we want to vote on
on
that?
that?
Yeah.
Do we want to
Yes.
do the women's market?
Absolutely.
Okay. Because that was.
Do I have a motion to, for the Monroe County Women's Commission involvement in the women's market held at City Hall and led by the Bloomington Commission on the Status of Women? I think I summarized that.
I second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Please tell the Bloomington Commission for the Status of Women that the Monroe County Commission for Women would be glad to co-sponsor and offer sweat equity for the women's market.
On July 27th.
7.
Question mark.
That's a question mark still?
Oh,
Well, that's
No,
what I
that's
wrote down.
Set in stone.
that's
Okay,
okay,
okay.
great. Excellent.
Do we have anything else? No? I would like, I don't need a motion to adjourn, I don't think. I'm gonna adjourn this meeting at, 6:23, I think, and all good work, everybody. Thank you.
Gosh, we're getting good.